Hey everybody, welcome back to the IzzyFab Speed YouTube channel. We're going on a little road trip today. I bought a couple of cars for the shop. We're going to do more of a shop build. Really try to, I don't know. I really want to get into these chassis. So I bought a couple of cars that are sort of semi-desirable to do so with. So yeah, we'll bring you along for the road trip. And we'll see what they are. Well, there's number one loaded up. Tough old girl, but she's gonna be a beauty. Okay guys, we're back with number one. Gonna get her all unloaded, and then I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back tomorrow for the second one or if I'm gonna wait till next weekend. But the old girl's a little tough, but I got a good deal on them. And the most important thing is they make damn near everything for these cars. Quarter panels, floor pans, all that shit complete. So what I'm really happy about on both of them though is most of them have all the trim and nickel and dime stuff, door handles, all that shit. They're pretty complete, so that's really why I bought them. Okay guys, I realized while editing this video that up to this point I have done a pretty terrible job of explaining kind of anything about these cars or why I purchased them other than wanting to build a chassis. So I'm going to hop in here and do that now. They're both 1964 Ford Galaxie 500 XLs. They're the identical car. They're both 390 cars. They're both hardtops. They're both column shift, no console, bench seat cars. The white car you're going to see is pretty destroyed. It's quite rotten, but it has a lot of, I don't know, nuts and bolts and nickel and dime type stuff that I think will be advantageous to the other car. The fenders are in much better shape on the white car. The doors are in much better shape on the white car, but the body itself is in much poorer shape. So I think between the two of them, we'll wind up making one decent car. There's obviously going to be a lot of sheet metal work to do regardless on both of them, or whichever one I wind up choosing. But like I said in the previous clip, there is sheet metal available for these cars in great abundance. So that was a big reason for my purchase. Have been pushing myself to learn the CAD stuff, and I've really been pushing myself to understand suspension, and I really want to get into full builds, and the basis of those builds would be an IzzyFab Speed branded chassis designed here, LS or big block or whatever the guy wants. Body and paint. We don't do the paint work, but obviously we've dealt with Matt in the past at Muscat Auto Body, and he's phenomenal. He's a great dude. We can do the sheet metal work here. I'd like to be able to buy, you know, like these Galaxies, for example, build a chassis for them, put a motor in them, do the metal work, have them painted, interior, do a full build on the car, and be able to take it to Good Guys or something of that nature, and, you know, sell the car or use it as a billboard for us for a couple years until we can get the next one through the door. And unfortunately, we've been looking for a client for quite a while to do a full build like this, and it just didn't seem to work out for some reason, and that's why I started to look into funding it on our own, which were the Galaxies. Thankfully, since I bought the Galaxies, we did have this Parisienne show up that I briefly talked about in one of the update videos. It was not coming here for a full build, but the guy that owns it seems to be very nice, and unfortunately the car is in a little worse shape than either of us had anticipated. He just bought it, I think, a year ago maybe, and it's got a 572 big block in it, and it's a convertible, and in true Canadian car fashion, the floor pans have all been scabbed together. So between the condition of the chassis and the condition of the floor pans and the quarters and stuff on the car, I pitched the idea of a full build to him, and he went for it.
So luckily we now have our Galaxy and also this Parisienne to kind of build off of. So my long-term goal for the chassis things is you're going to get, you know, two options. If you want to build a car, you're going to get option A, which will be like a solid axle 4.9-inch with a 4-link and a Willwood Pro Spindle kit and, you know, Willwoods or whatever. And option B will be C7 independent based front and rear suspension, independent 4.9-inch center section, and then, you know, we'll figure out sway bars and things like that from there. But I want to be able to, you know, offer these two different chassis options for guys. And so the cool thing about that is we're going to do the 9-inch solid axle on the Parisienne. It's just a cruiser. It's not a, you know, crazy corner carve or anything like that. And it's going to get big Willwoods and Pro Spindles in the front and just, you know, a nice solid driver chassis that will be a lot stronger than what was in it. And then the Galaxy, I'm going to wind up putting something in that you'll see later on in the video that is going to be pretty awesome, I think. So I apologize for, you know, sort of how all over this video has been so far and how all over it's going to continue to be. YouTube is kind of I don't know, it's like my third or fourth tier of hats that I'm wearing right now. So between running the shop, building cars myself, teaching myself, spending an insane amount of time teaching myself CAD over the last year or so, and now teaching myself to do these YouTube videos and edits and also planning videos. It's just, I've got a lot of hats on and I'm trying. And sometimes I go through these video edits and I'm just like, I don't think that there's anything worthy of posting, but I'm just gonna keep posting it, and if it catches, it catches, and if not, then so be it. So we're gonna get back into the video now, and I'm sure there will probably be another section later on where I'm sitting at this exact spot and you see those exact screens behind me, and we'll chat again. So enjoy. Yeah, so I've been mucking around with this guy for a couple hours now, and by a couple hours I mean 20 minutes. It actually makes noise, which is crazy because I don't know when the last time it ran was, and it's covered in rat poop. So let me prove it to you. Isn't that crazy? I should mention that I did quite literally nothing. We just tossed a battery in here. I got my little starter button. I just jumped across the solenoid. I added this little pump we have laying around, and I'm running it off a Milwaukee battery, and that's it. I didn't clean the carb, I didn't touch the carb, I did nothing. I cut this fuel line, and I added a piece of rubber hose, and I've been using this little Coors cup that was in the other car as my fuel tank.
And the friggin' thing runs, which is kind of wild.
2,000 years later.
Well guys, I did something today I never thought I'd be able to do for a handful of years still. And that is buy myself a Corvette. You ready to see it? Ta-da! I mean, it's a Corvette. Alright, I'm just kidding. I did buy it. It is a Corvette. But I bought this on purpose because we now have the perfect base to be able to scan, analyze, create all of our C7 pickup points for one of the chassis options I want to be able to offer. So this is going to go in the Galaxy, this setup, sorry. So we're going to have an independent rear. It's going to be an independent 9-inch, not a factory C7 diff or, you know, whatever ZL1. We're going to use a 9-inch independent center section, use C7 or slightly modified C7 geometry. I'm hoping I can actually use this exact suspension in our car. It came with front and rear brakes, calipers, rotors, pads, all that jazz. It has been sitting for a while, so the rotors are a little worse for wear, but the calipers are in great shape. So I saved myself a ton of money on buying uprights and brakes and all that individually. I paid 3,000 bucks for this. It has some type of drift suspension on the front. This was going to be somebody's pro car, Liam. If you're local, you probably know Liam Stanford. If not, he bought this to build a pro car out of a number of years ago and then sold it to some other guy, and there's a few things missing since, but it still has somebody's suspension. I don't know whose, but we're going to sell this, and I'm going to run the factory cast style arms and geometry. Again, this is a drift suspension in the front of this, and I am not building a drift car to the Galaxy, so if you want it, speak up. Yeah. So I'm quite excited about this because this is a huge step for not a lot of money, and it gives us a really good base that I can 3D scan all the pickup points and, you know, start doing the math on, you know, if we can use the sway bar, the track width, move the track width, blah, 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 run it through the suspension analyzer, all that good stuff. So this is a big one. And again, for the money, I should be able to get a good portion of that back from that front suspension, and you know, eventually probably sell this shell to somebody or scrap it or whatever. Who knows? Maybe we'll cut it up and just keep the front and rear pickup points in the C-can or something. But yeah, pretty stoked about this. So we're gonna get it out of the trailer and find somewhere to put it. Okay, so at this point, we're nearing the end. I'm just gonna do a quick walkthrough of the cars. So this is the white one, obviously. Again, they're both 64s. This is the green one. Got some gunny wheels to set this one on, but you can see how, you know, the tops of the fenders of this one are gone. Whereas this car, these fenders are pretty good. So this door works. This door is in pretty good shape. The driver's door, for whatever reason, on the green car does not work. It looks like there was some rot that got into the lock cylinder area, and it's just kind of folded in on itself. So, but these fenders are not in terrible shape. The doors are not in terrible shape. There's a little bit down there and a little bit up here, but that's pretty easy metal work. But the roof is gone on this one, and so is the majority of the floor. Now, I'm not expecting the other floor to be that much better, but this car has had somebody try to scab quarters on it at one time, and they just did a poor job. And most of the tail panel on this car is gone as well. So this car is in body-wise, like the actual body of it is in much better shape because somebody had the foresight to cut out the rot and it kind of slowed it down. So I think this one is the one we're going to build, and I think we're going to use a lot of parts from this car to do so. But the really nice thing about me buying these cars, they were together. That's the only reason I got two. I would not have bought two separate ones. They were a package deal, and they came with, like, this one's complete. It still has a full interior. Dash doesn't look like it's ever been out of it. You know, most of these old girls, you get a basket case where somebody's tried to, I guess we'll go around to the other side because that door doesn't work. Most of these cars, you get a basket case because somebody's tried to, you know, save it at some point and done a poor job of it. And yeah, so but you can see it's totally complete, you know, right down to the carpet. All the bells and whistles are still there, so I'm pretty excited about that. A lot of the nickel and dimey trim stuff I have two of now for the most part, so there's a couple things missing obviously from some of them, or from one of them, this one being the one that they're missing from, but I think I have at least one of everything to put the car back together, so that makes me feel really, really good about these purchases. And yeah, I'm hoping to build a pretty cool little hot rod out of them. Picture it here. And I'm hoping that this is going to turn into this. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. I think we're about to hire a new guy at the shop. So I'm hoping we can get through some work a little bit faster, and I'm hoping we can spend maybe a day or two a week on one of the Galaxies. I really would like to get the body off the one, and I would also like to get this on the hoist and get it scanned. Obviously we need to put some bolts back in certain areas of the suspension, and I got some factory control arms and spindles on the way for this, so we'll make it a proper roller again, and then tear it all apart, and it can go away or get sold or live in the sea can or in the backyard and live out its days, you know, as an empty shell.
Okay, so I hope you are as excited about this build as I am. Drivetrain plans for it, LS for sure, T56, which I just put my name down for one. A friend of mine had one for sale, so we're gonna pick that up hopefully this weekend coming. And what else? I'd like to put forced induction on it. Just I'm trying to hit sort of what I would call a Barrett-Jackson standard. So it's got to be manual, it's got to have some type of forced induction, got to be LS, got to look the part, vintage air. I would like to put cruise control on it just because I am a big fan of the new Dakota cruise controls. It's going to have a Dakota digital cluster in it. Probably some type of like fancier stock interior. Just a really nice driver, really nice ice cream cruiser with maybe 700-ish horsepower and good sounding exhaust, and, you know, kind of the standard. I'm not trying to make it fit any weird, wonderful avenues. I'm going to kind of make this just a really, really nice, well put together car that is going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Attractive to the right buyer. So I'm trying not to pigeonhole myself into one type of build on this car. It's just going to be really, really, really well thought out, really well put together, nice paint, nice wheels, just solid build that somebody's willing to pay for. So I'm fully expecting this to take us well into a year and a half, 2 years probably to do. So I'm going to try and update this as best we can. But again, I'm paying for this out of my pocket. So we have a small building. The shop always comes first. I'm not stopping working on my truck either. I'm going to try and get it running sooner than later. So as soon as my truck runs and drives, and as soon as we have a spot that I can get one of the boys or myself to disassemble the body and we can start designing the chassis. The chassis is going to take me a little while. This is actually the chassis design for the Parisienne right now. So you can see how far away it is. This is the back half we just finished. So you can see how populated it's going to get with kind of everything. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And I think it's going to be a really cool car, especially with that little ChatGPT rendering I showed you. So that's obviously not going to be the final look of it, probably. But that's kind of where I'm headed. So yeah, hope you follow along. Hope you get stoked, and it is going to be a really, really fun build, I think. So I've been wanting to do this for a long, long time. So it'll be nice to have something under our belt that was start to finish here, along with the Parisienne as well. Thanks, Tom, if you see this. I'm really looking forward to that car. So yeah, that's going to end it off, and we'll see you when we see you again.